So I don't know if this is going to happen again while I still have that dozer, but all 4 of them are currently at the farm. I figured I'd do a quick little walk around video, all of them, showing the pros and cons of each one of these dozers, from the 850M case to the Komatsu D39 to the Cat D6D, all the way up to my Cat D7F. So as you can tell, we got old, a little newer, well, a lot newer, and brand spanking new. So we'll start here at the front. Right here is a 2025 case 850M LGP. LGP stands for low ground pressure, which means the tracks are wider on this. So in wetter conditions, they tend to stand up to the ground a lot better and float over mud, which is what I normally like to run on my finished dozers. I call all these dozers finished dozers this size, around the 20 to 25,000 pound range. I think this one's 24. It's pretty much identical to size than that one right there. This would be equivalent to like a 650 John Deere, or I know they changed the Cats, but like a new D3. So these are like a D5 size, the older style Cat dozers in comparison. So this one right here has the 6-way blade on them. Pretty much I like the 6-way blade for all the finished dozers. You can angle the dirt and roll it, you know, tilt everything. It's just great for shaping everything up. As I mentioned in the very first video, this dozer does come standard with the universal grade control mounts. If you do TopCon, Trimble, whatever type of GPS you have. The blade frame, it is very stout on this dozer. I do like that. All in all, it's a very nice dozer. I'm very happy with it. A couple things I don't like about it. It's a little bit loud on the inside of the cab. I think they said they haven't changed the cab since 2013, so it's a little bit noisy in there, but all in all, it's not bad. It's comfortable. And like I said, I like that everything is simple with all the buttons. You still have your fan speed knobs up here. You know, I know everything's getting digital, but it is still nice just to be able to hit buttons and stuff like that. This does have the electric over hydraulic control, so it does take a little bit more getting used to. It's a little bit more sensitive than the pilot controls. Pilot controls are where the hydraulic hoses actually come up into the joystick, so you're actually moving a valve versus, you know, being all electronic here. Visibility, not quite as good in this one. Obviously, the hood's a little bit bigger on here, and the door latches and everything, but all in all, you can see your blade corners really good, and it just works pretty good. The air conditioning does work good in here. So this one's right at like 100, and I want to say it's between 110 120 horsepower. So it definitely has more horsepower than the Komatsu. This one right here is a 2016 Komatsu D39 that I bought 4 or 5 years ago. I think about 5 years ago. All in all, I've been very happy with this dozer, other than the emissions problems with it. It has been, I would say that this dozer right here is probably one of the best grading dozers I've ever been on. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with it. I absolutely love the way it handles, the way it grades, but I have just had problem after problem with the emissions on it. It's really quiet in the cab, but a lot of people have noticed, like this one, it's quieter outside. Well, I'm not saying outside, but the engine is quieter than this one. This thing has a very loud, rattly engine, and they've always been like that, and I swear it sounds like it's going to come out from under there, but it doesn't. But luckily, you don't really notice it too bad in the cab. The Komatsus are different. If you notice, the hood's a lot smaller on Komatsu dozers, the newer ones. The radiator is actually in the back of the dozer, so you're able to lose a lot of your front hood and your blind spots by putting the radiator in the back. I think Komatsu is really the only dozer that does that I know of. I could be wrong, but I was a little leery of that to start with, as, like, you know, that can be a little critical if you're backing into something. But all in all, I've never had a problem with it, and I've been very happy with it. This machine is set up like that one. It does have the sweeps right there, the limb risers, but this one's kind of decked out with all the cages on the windows. It really helps if you're clearing. I do have a root rake for this as well. If you're in the branches and stuff like that, it really keeps the windows from getting knocked out. This one, I did add the mounts for a root rake, and I do have my little simple grade control pole mounted right there. But I will hand down say that the Komatsus have the best visibility of them all. Sitting right here, you can just see everything so well, and I guess that's what I really like about it, is the visibility out of it. There's really nothing. They did a very good job with the air intake and the exhaust, putting that right there with that pillar. You don't even notice it when you're sitting in the seat. Let's say this one's a 2016 model, so it's 9 years old. You know, still has some, still pretty simple digital gauges, but it still does have your manual heating and air and those switches for your wipers and radio up there. But like I said, I really like this dozer, but that would be my biggest complaint, is the amount of downtime I have had with it. So love-hate relationship, love the way the dozer grades, just, you know, it's got a few issues with it. And then we're over here onto the classic Cat side. So this is my 1984 Cat D6D I picked up about, oh, it was 3 or 4 years ago at auction. We just serviced it, so it's got some oil spills on it. But it has been a very good dozer. I have pretty much turned this one into a clearing dozer. I like to keep the rake on it. It does a really good job pushing big piles of brush. I've had brush all the way come over the cab, canopy, and everything on this. It's just a good old raw power dozer. No bells and whistles, just straight up, start up and go to work. I love these old things. These dozers will be around when this stuff is just, I hate to say it, but this stuff right here, you know, you're going to have mechanical problems, but as far as electronic and stuff, it's just nothing on it there. So good old dozers. This one, it's pretty hard to grade with. I don't know, the blade's kind of wore out in it right there. It doesn't really hold grade too good, but it does root rake pretty good and push brush, so that's why I just pretty much keep the rake on it. And I'm not afraid about tearing it up, you know, running it through the woods. There's no glass to knock out on it. The only downfall, being open cab, you do get to be in the elements, so it can get a little warm, a little bit cold. The worst problem, I would say, is really not the heat, it's the dust. Just the way it blows dust all up in there, it will wrap you up in a heartbeat. You know, if it's very dry outside. That one's good. I really don't clear a whole lot with that one, just because I try not to tear it up. Stumping's pretty rough on those 6-way blades. It's just a whole lot more delicate stuff than, as you see right here. She's braced and beefed up a little bit better. So no, I've been very happy with this one. Like I said, this is a 1984 Cat D6D. Don't know how many hours on it, but we're guessing somewhere around probably 5,000 or 6,000 hours. And then we have the really nice Cat D7F that Clint restored for me. This is a 1972 model, so we're looking at what, 53 years old. And this tractor right here honestly only has 700 and some hours on it. It was an old military surplus machine that just never really got used. In 2000, it did have the overhaul on it where it got a new motor put in it, and they rebuilt all the transmission, final drives, all new seals, hoses, and everything. He went through there and put all new seals on everything. I love this dozer. It's a great pusher, but that is about all it's good for, is just hogging dirt. There's really no fine grading with it. It's just straight up push dirt and get it to where you need to, then come in here with the smaller dozer. So I like it. I don't use it as much as I thought I would have. I put right many hours on it, but not near as much as what I thought. It's well, we never did the, I guess, the view from up here on this one. So on these older dozers, they have great big hoods on them, so you don't really see a whole lot. You just kind of do everything by feel. This one is the power shift transmission. This is the updated one, so all you have to do on this is just pull these handles. You don't have to use the pedals. For steering, that's your throttle, blade control, everything. But no, you're just kind of barely looking at your corners right here to grade with this one. This one being an 84 model, it's updated a little bit. This one being a 72 model, we actually get on the other side. They put the battery box right there where I normally get up at. You really lose a lot of visibility, so you're pretty much pushing by feel, because this is what you see. unless you actually lean over and look forward, you can't see your blade corner. So you're doing a lot of grading by feel. This one right here, it's a little rougher on you. You have to use the pedals and the handles to steer, which does kind of wear you out a little bit, but it's not terrible. I really do love this dozer, but it's just a little bit bigger, clumsier than that one right there. That one does root raking a whole lot faster. It's a whole lot quicker and a little more nimble, but you can't compete to this one right here. That D6 is like a 34,000 pound dozer, and I want to say this one's somewhere around 52,000 pounds. And it does have the winch on the back, which I've only used it once. It needs new cable on it. It's not terrible, but it is a job to get that wound back up on there nice and neat. You pretty much have to tie it to a tree and just winch the dozer back up. But no, this is a beautiful dozer. I've been very happy with it. 52 years old, turn the switch and it just fires right up. I mean, you see how plain and simple everything is on it. The only problem is just a lot of people can't run this stuff anymore. It takes a special talent to kind of run this stuff. It's just not near as easy and creature comfort as those newer dozers up there, but I love them because they're very dependable. Pretty much if you have some good batteries and some diesel fuel, you're going to work. But no, I figured that would be pretty cool to kind of do a little walkthrough on the dozers while they were here. Like I said, we got a 50,000 pound dozer, 34,000, and then those two right there are 25,000 pound weight dozers. Probably a little bit more since that one's got the sweeps and the cages on it, but all in all, those two are pretty much the same size. That one's medium, and then that's a pretty good size dozer right there. I had thought about possibly getting a little bit bigger one, but it just comes down to transporting. You know, you get a D8 size dozer. Once the blade gets over about 12 feet wide, it becomes a nightmare to move. Either you got to take the blade off or you got to have a pilot car. I think it's 12 and a half feet if it's over that width. You have to have the pilot car follow you, and that's just another $400 expense on every time you move it. So there they are.